Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yeah guys, it's been a while. So you guys have seen the vlog I've uploaded last week. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll link it right over here. But yeah, welcome back. It's been a while since I've been on these YouTube streets. A year to be exact, like over a year, because I last posted a video before the vlog last week. It was March. So yeah, I realized that I need to do a life update video because a lot has been going on. Yep, no, your girl's been busy and life has been lifing, as I like to say. So, yeah, I thought I'll do this video and kind of just update you guys on what I've been up to in the last 7-8 months to a year. I've written it all down, so excuse me if I keep looking down and stuff, because then I have to look at all the stuff that has been happening since, because wow, a lot has happened. So remember to subscribe to become part of the family, and let's get into it. Okay, so I think I will start with last year, I think April, May time situation, right? So some of you may not know, but last year, the only, like my major focus job employment wise was my startup, which is the popsicle company. And as much as I was excited about that and I'd managed to get the Tony Elumelu funding, I was still struggling to like keep up with things and just make ends meet income wise, because I was making sales and stuff, but it's not enough to pay the bills and stuff, right? So I was still actually job hunting for a job that would give me like some form of stable income, right? So around April time, I was contacted by this lady who's now my boss, that she was looking for someone for like an entry-level position into legal technology. Now, rewind back to about October, November 2020, 2021, I think 2021, yes. I discovered this new industry in the legal fraternity, which is called New Law. So New Law basically covers innovation, legal technology, legal operations, right? I know some of you guys may have watched my video where I said I completed my bar exams in Zim. I had partially given up on being involved in the legal field, right? Because those exams really like stressed me out and everything. I'd passed and I was admitted, right? But I'd lost that passion for it. So I was kind of exploring what other options I have in the legal field before I totally leave it. So I discovered legal ops and legal operations, and it seemed to be a thing that I want to do, right? But as per usual, there's not much happening legal ops, legal tech wise in Africa, well, Southern Africa, because right now I know Kenya is doing quite well with legal tech. South Africa was still also fairly new, but yeah, basically just non existent on the continent. So I had to kind of deep dive into the European world and North American type vibe, because they're the ones who had actually done something about it. So I was attending a lot of Twitter spaces, LinkedIn webinars, all that stuff, right? And this lady contacted me on Twitter and said, I was personally recommended to her, which I found very weird, because the lady who I found out recommended me was a LinkedIn connection that I had not actually had like proper interactions with. So it was kind of endearing, but here we are. Fast forward to end of May 2022, I got hired to join this legal tech startup based in New York, and now I work remotely. So that changed a lot of things for me, because it meant I had enough income to get my own place, which is where you see me now, and do a lot of other things, because now I can travel, now I can kind of be on the same level as my peers, which is something I've really been wanting for a while, because I felt like I had fallen behind everyone I had like graduated with or I'd worked with, because there was a lot going on, guys. Like, I'd left what I thought was my dream job in Zim in 2020, sorry. And I felt like I had just failed at life. Like nothing I was doing was working. The popsicle company was one of the first things that I'd done that was actually gaining traction. But I still didn't have a full hold on it, so I still felt like I wasn't doing something right. So this remote job did a lot to kind of stabilize me and give me something to look forward to. So they gave me like a full office setup. They bought me a laptop and everything, which then leads me to June 2022, which is my birthday month. And for me, my birthday month is very stressful, only because I automatically start to reflect about the year that's passed and what's going on. And last year I was very unhappy because I just thought I wasn't doing enough. I felt like I was failing at a lot of things in life also because I was just stuck. Well, I felt stagnant and everyone else around me was moving. So, fun fact, guys, focus on your own lane. So I think it's because I was focusing too much, comparing myself to other people and stuff, and it was just really getting to me. So in June, I went to Cairo for the first time in about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, the last time I was in Cairo was 2018. Because they were hosting the Afro-Zimbabwean AGM. So I went because one, that was a way for me to pick up the computer that the guys from the States bought me. And also I got to see my sister for the first time in like 3-4 years. So for me, it was a 2-for-1 thing, right? And I got to see also my Cairo friends and all that stuff. So that was nice. But all in all, I was still very much in a funk and still very anxious about the new job that I was starting because I felt like I didn't know if I could do it well because it's a totally new industry and anything can happen, right? So yeah, Cairo was fun as usual. It was just a lot of nostalgia and seeing my sister again, so that was good. Worst thing from Cairo is I got COVID. And for me, it was the wildest thing because when I went to the doctor after I arrived back into Johannesburg, I was worried about everything else but COVID. Because in my mind, I was double vaccinated. I had been wearing my mask. I'd actually had not done much socializing, even though there was a lot of social events at the AGM. I actually didn't do many of the social events. And whenever I was outside, I had a mask. So for me, it was very jarring. And the symptoms that I got were not the bog standard ones. Because I think we got like the Omicron 2.0 or something like that. And it came with like a lot of stomach bugs. And my BP was just shooting through the roof. And I had to fight getting admitted, which I was very afraid of. Because for me, everyone who gets admitted never comes back home. So I was very afraid. And I was feeling very guilty because my mom didn't travel. It was me and my dad and my sister. And all 3 of us got COVID. My sister had to fly back to London and she had to battle it by herself in London. My dad and I had to battle it whilst we were here in Bots. And I felt very bad because we ended up giving it to my mom. And she's the one who struggled with it the most after we were over it. And I was down bad for like 2.5 weeks, which made me feel guilty on so many levels because now I've just started a new job and I have to tell them I have COVID and I'm out for most of June. And I remember my boss feeling some type of way. And I remember thinking, I got so offended because she's like, oh, I just want to make sure you are not trying to scam us because you got a laptop and everything and now you're not working. And I was like, no guys, I have COVID. And then I had to send them the test results and everything, right? For them to believe me, which was also very jarring because I'm not used to people thinking I'm a criminal. But guys, Americans will humble you. So yeah, that then happened. So yeah, May, June, and July were very turbulent months for me. I was just all over the place, but we move. In July though, when July started, we started off on a good note. I got my first salary, which then meant that I was able to put a down payment on this place. And I found this place by mistake because the place I really, really wanted was in a complex nearby. And when I got there to view it, I was told the apartment was gone. And I remember feeling so sad because I was like, I've been wanting this and I've lost 3 other apartments, all because I didn't have the money. And the real estate agent was like, but there's this other one I want you to check out. I don't know if you'd like it. Let's just go see it. And immediately when I walked to this place, I was like, I want it, I'll take it. Let's make it happen. And it's such a open space and I love it. I'd never seen it advertised anywhere, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm going to take it. And I signed the lease, and on the 1st of August, that's when I moved into this place. And I remember feeling like it's finally happening. Like, finally some traction is happening in my life. I'm starting to, settle into being an adult, And I was happy, but I was still feeling very tense-esque. Yeah, so it was kind of a weird feeling for me, because I felt like I was on holiday somewhere. Like, it's not my place. Like, I was visiting, So it was kind of weird. And then end of August is when one of my dear friends, Melissa, was getting married. So we spent a whole week in Cape Town. And that was like, I felt like it was like my coming out party, if that makes sense. Because suddenly I could go on holiday with my friends. We could have fun. And it was like a mini reunion of friends, because we are now all over the place. And we had people coming in from the States, from Singapore, from Australia. And all of us were meeting up again for like the first time in like 3 years. So it was a nice thing to catch up. And I felt so proud of myself that I can meet up with them and be like, I now have a job, I now have this. And like, I know it sounds silly, but like, I felt like I had some form of control of my life finally. So it was great. And for some odd reason, like, everyone kept telling me, oh my gosh, you look so good. You look happy, you like glowing. And I was just like, oh, thanks. I think I look like crap, but thanks. So, right. And it was just a great time. And I think it's finally when I started owning the fact that I'm actually not where I think I am, because a lot of people are telling me, oh my gosh, you're doing so well. We've been watching you for a while and we're doing this and we like what you're doing. Keep up, like, keep it up. And you inspire us. And I was just like, if I've had like 6 breakdowns in the last 2 weeks. Wow. Thanks. So, so it was interesting. And then we fast forward to about October. I went to South Africa for my first work-related event. And I remember feeling like such an imposter in the whole room, because everyone was like an expert in this and an expert in that. And they all knew about legal technology and legal ops. And I was like, I'm still fairly new. Like, I'm 4 or 5 months into this thing. I love it and I'm thriving. But wow, like, this is a whole new world, like, it's an adventure and stuff. And I walked into the room and everyone was like, oh my gosh, yeah, we've been watching you on LinkedIn. You say you post all of this good stuff and you're so good at communicating with people. And I'm there like, why, thank you. I'm just reposting stuff you post. Like, I'm not knowledgeable enough yet to be an expert, but thanks for you to consider me and stuff. So yeah, it was one of the things that I realized last year, that I have imposter syndrome on a different level. I thought I'd conquered it, but yeah, I need to start believing in myself a bit more. So I started also working on myself, like my personal development, and doing a bit more self-care, loving myself, appreciating what I'm capable of, because I think I just given myself such high expectations and I'm very harsh on myself. So just because I'm not where I wanted to be, I thought I'd failed. But I've actually come quite far, and where I am right now is obviously not where I expected to be, but I'm realizing it's where I'm supposed to be, and I'm actually thriving in this new industry or little world I've created for myself, and I love it. So guys, yeah, lessons. You might not be where you want to be, but you are where you're supposed to be. I think that's the lesson I was learning quite loudly. So yeah. And then we now move to December. Now everyone knows I'd been battling getting admitted. The last video I posted in March was about that. I'd gone to Zim and it had gone left. It continued to go left for like the next 6 months. I attempted to get 3 other lawyers and they all also fucked me over, which was very jarring because 2 of them were people that I personally knew, and they just kept postponing. And for me, it was, I just didn't understand why, because they're people I either personally worked with or I knew as well. I thought we were colleagues, and they kept messing me over. So I was close to giving up again. And then one of my friends, she will forever be hold a special place in my heart just because she did this, because she was also 8 months pregnant and happened to go into labor the day I was admitted. So, wow, guys, it was a movie. But yes, on the 7th of December, insert picture here, I got admitted. So I'm officially an admitted legal practitioner in Zimbabwe. I'm working on the one in Botswana now. But yeah, I remember that day feeling like, oh my gosh, it's happening. Oh my gosh, it's happening. And the weirdest thing is we have to do this thing called I can't remember what it's called. Like, there's an official name for it. But you basically go for a meeting with the judge like 5 to 10 minutes before you actually go into court. And in that meeting, he can actually cancel your registration and it won't happen. So I remember feeling terribly anxious because I was now like, oh my gosh, what if he tells me my papers are not in order, which means I'm not getting registered today? And then I have to deal with my parents and I have to deal with all of this. And my mind was moving at 1,000 kilometers per minute because I was like, we're finally here, but it could not happen, but it could happen. You know what I mean? So yeah, but when we finally went into court, everything went well. And I was like, I think I was like number 3 or 4 on the roll. So we got it out as quickly as possible. But wow, it was such a weird anticlimax when we got done with it all, because I was like, I was worried about that. Like, it's done. Like, I'm finally a lawyer, you know? But yeah, we took the pictures and we did everything. I felt really ashamed that after all of that, we did everything and I was excited. After all of it, I was just like, I'm just happy it's over and I'm done. Which is weird for me because, like I said, it had been like a 6-year journey and I really wanted to do it. But I think it further solidified that I'm very fine with being in the legal tech sector, right? Like, I'm liking it and I don't want to go into practice. Like, I'm never going to go into practice at all. I just need to be an admitted attorney because of how the legal industry set up this side of the world. So I'm okay with it. I'm thriving. Also, I don't know if I'm going to be this side of the world for the next 15 years, whatever it is. So it's good to have it, right? Just because, hey, I can say I'm dually admitted in 5 countries, whatever. It's cool. So yeah, that happened and we had a good old time. My parents came with me and yeah, it was a chill day. Like, it was just like any other day. Like, in my head, I thought it was going to be like pump and all this and everything. But what actually ended up happening was kind of basic. It was like any other day. So yeah, but I'm very proud that I didn't give up because there's so many times last year that I was close to just saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Fuck it. We can move on. But we got it done and now we're here. So that happened, and then Christmas last year, I took my first solo trip, because I went to South Africa because I didn't initially plan to go to Ghana, but yeah, you know, black people, sometimes the trip never leaves a group chat. And that trip didn't leave the group chat. So I ended up going to Johannesburg for a few days just to kind of zen out and pamper myself, because I wanted to pat myself on the back for all that I'd done this year and managed to do, and also the fact that I am finally admitted, so let's celebrate that. But I wanted to celebrate by myself. Like, I wanted it to be about me, because a lot of the times I felt like I was celebrating everyone else's achievements, I was doing everything for everyone else, but I had not done anything for me in a very long time. So that trip was just for me to enjoy myself, have spa treatments, manicure, pedicure, everything, all of that stuff. And I was not going to be cooking for anyone. I was not going to be taking care of anyone. I was going to be taking care of me for 5 days. I just wanted it to be all about me. And I didn't want to feel guilty that I've done that and there's someone else doing this. Nah, just me. So that's what we did. So that was a great time because I relaxed and I got to do a nice few reflections about the year that's passed. And yeah, decide what I wanted to do for 2023. Now, 2023 started on a very great note. I got to see my best friend, Zanele, and meet my god babies for the first time. She has 2 kids. One is 4 and the other one just turned 1. So I was meeting both of them for the first time, so that was great. And seeing her as well as a married woman, because last time I'd seen her, she was still single and preparing to get married. So that was good. And then, what else have we done so far this year? we've just grown personally and spiritually because I've been focusing a lot more on my mental health and just getting to know myself a bit better. Because also I realized one thing I've been struggling a lot with is my personal identity. Like, who am I? Who am I to myself? Who am I to my friends? And all of that stuff. And just healing a lot of inner wounds that I have, because I realized I had compartmentalized a lot because I was living at home and I didn't feel safe enough to unpack that. So now living by myself, I know if I'm feeling like this, where it's coming from and how to navigate it. And living by myself has meant I pay attention more to myself. I'm not focusing on anyone else, because I know when I'm with people, I focus more on people than I focus on myself, and I tend to ignore my needs. So living by myself has taught me to prioritize me. I need to know what's important. I need to listen to my body. I need to know when to rest. I need to know it's okay to do nothing. Because like, I'm very bad at doing nothing. Like, I plan to do nothing. That's how bad it is. So I'm slowly working on myself, and I was trying to get a routine down, because I'm a remote worker. I work from home. My work day starts at 3 p.m. So it's a lot of balance that I have to now incur. Like, how do I start my day? What time do I start my day? I need to do a lot of things, hopefully before the day starts, because my day starts at 3 and it ends at about 8 p.m., 10 p.m. So when everyone else is resting and winding down the day, I'm actually at work. So I now need to make sure that I've done everything I need to do in the first half of the day, so that at the end of the day, I'm just doing work, right? So I needed to come up with a routine that makes sense and makes sense to me. Because I tried being part of the 5 a.m. club, child, that doesn't work for me. So I had to figure out what works for me, and I knew that I wanted to be more active, go to the gym more, eat better, because also I'm very bad with eating, because one meal a day can work for me just fine, but I was noting that my body was not responding well to that. So I have to get better with my lifestyle in regards to my eating habits, my workout habits, and just life in general, right? So now I go to the gym first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning for me is 8 a.m. guys. I wake up at 7, have breakfast, and then go to the gym. So I had to be comfortable with that also, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure for people to be like, oh, you must go to the gym early in the morning. Yeah, it's good to go. But I also don't like being bothered in the gym. So I found that 8 a.m. was a good time to go, because now the work crowd is gone and all the excited people are gone. And I can work in peace where I don't have to fight people for machinery and all that stuff, right? So 8 a.m. works for me. So I go to the gym first thing in the morning after having breakfast. And then I come back home, take a shower, and just do a few things, whatever errands I need to do, and catch up on my personal work itself. And then I start preparing for the workday to start. Then I have lunch and then start work. So that has been working so far. Of course, there were days where it went completely left and I don't even wake up and I just lie in because I'm having an emotional day or whatever, right? But I got better at it. And in the process, I've learned to be kinder to myself, because that's one thing I noted that I really need to work on, being kinder to myself. Like, I tell everyone else around me, oh, give yourself grace, be kind to yourself, be this, but I wasn't doing that for me. And my inner talk and my self-talk was very violent. And we take that for granted, because it really affects how you're gonna achieve your goals and how you put your mind to doing certain things. So I've had to practice loving myself more, prioritizing myself more, and just taking care of me, because I guess it's like semi-firstborn syndrome. I take care of everyone else and I worry about everyone else, but I don't worry about me. And it was building up a lot of negative emotions within me, so it meant I was just not happy. And I like being happy. I'm a very happy person. Well, I thought I was a very happy person, but I want to be a very happy person. And I want to be a healed person, so that if I do get married, if I do have kids, I don't carry all of that stuff to them or to my partner. So yeah. And I guess that's another thing that I've been working on, and I'm working on this year, is trauma and healing my inner child wounds, because that's also very important. I realized there's a lot of projection I was doing onto certain people, onto myself. I was doing myself a great disservice. I was not achieving certain things just because I was not healing certain things, and I had certain mindsets that were harming me. So yes, guys, heal yourself, work on yourself. If you can afford therapy, do it, because I'm doing it and it's great. It's doing good things for me. It's painful and very jarring. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's painful as hell. But once you get through the pain, you will be better for it, and you'll thank yourself for it, because you'll start to achieve things much easier. And I say easier because you won't have to, you're not self-sabotaging yourself as much. And I was self-sabotaging myself a lot, and without even realizing it, right? So definitely, I think that's something I would very much recommend to anyone. If you can do therapy, do it. Self-care books, if you can, do that. I'm back to reading more again, which I love, because I realized I was so bogged down with a lot of things I was not reading anymore, which is something I find very relaxing. So that's also something I'm doing now. The popsicle company is growing way faster than I expected, so that's something I also will be working on a lot, and you'll probably see quite a bit more on this channel going forward. And also now I am I'm relatively popular on TikTok now. I never thought I'd be that person. But I help people get remote jobs, because I think remote jobs is the way to go. Like, remote work life is great, because for me now, it's helping me travel a bit more, and I love to travel and just explore things, right? So I think if you can get into the remote job space, because it's a great space to be in. And yeah, thank you guys for sitting with me to have this live update. Things might be changing a tiny bit on this channel as well. I'll be doing a lot of vlogs, and then, like, you'll keep up with me. But I'll also be posting quite a bit of the remote work stuff as well, because that's now become a great part of my life as well. And of course, you're going to see the basketball stuff as always, because yeah, that's also become quite busy. We're back to playing basketball frequently. We had a great season. Top 4 championships coming up next weekend, or this weekend and next weekend. So you're going to see a lot of stuff from that as well. And yeah, it's nice to see you guys again. Hopefully we can be a bit more consistent now. And yeah, if you guys want me to talk about anything, feel free to post in the comments below, and let's grow the family, guys. And it's great to be back. And yeah, ask me anything you'd like to ask me. All my socials will be in the description box below, as always. If you want to contact me for anything, feel free. And oh, the link to my website. I have a website now. The link to my website will also be in the description box, and you can check that out to catch up with me when I'm not here. That you'll see my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and my TikTok. So you guys can see what else I'm up to when I'm not being a YouTuber. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe.